Hello, happy feast and welcome to الكرامة news channel. And we start our top stories for today with the current and latest developments in Libya. The official spokesman for the Special Forces, Colonel Milod Zawiya, said the armed forces supported by Special Forces have made progress in all fighting districts in Benghazi. Zawiya noted that the armed forces had inflicted the terrorist Ansar Sharia group heavy losses. He added that a soldier named Ahmed Ajafila died of his wounds in Al-Jala hospital after the clashes in Lethi district in Benghazi. A bomb exploded at a bridge located near Morqos Valley in Derna, wounding two of the armed forces. Military sources, the military engineering teams managed to dismantle another explosive device planted on one of the bridge near Morqos Valley. Harun said the joint security force in Al-Bragcom, the area around the valley in all directions, targeting elements of the terrorist Daesh group near Ras Al-Halal town. The source added that the army retreated to its previous position in Ras Al-Halal town, waiting for instructions to break into the valley. Moreover, he noted that the district is now witnessing careful calmness. Media reports said that 3 people were killed and 6 others injured by renewed clashes in Obari. The reports quoted Magdi Buhnia as a spokesman for Obari operations of Tuareg as saying that clashes renewed between Tabo and Tuareg tribes in several districts of Obari town using heavy and medium weapons. Witnesses said heavy fire broke out as a result of these clashes that took place during last night, in addition to sniping that resulted in a number of dead unwanted people. And still in Libya, Tabo and Tuareg tribes in Atiyuri neighborhood of Sabha held a ceasefire agreement for a week after mediation of the South tribes. According to sources, the agreement including a ceasefire, the opening of roads and pathways, facilitating exit of the wounded and elderly and those in need of treatment, as well as returning the displaced people. The agreement was signed after mediation of Arabia, Azwaid, Al-Ghouta, Al-Haswana, Al-Qazasfa, and Al-Mahami tribes. Details and reconciliation items will be discussed later in presence of all Sabha tribes to reach a final solution to the problems between the two tribes. 15 people were killed in clashes between the two groups during the past 2 days. Spokesman for Health Ministry Ahmed Al-Aligin announced the appointment of Sayyid Ja'far Hussein as a representative of Libya in the World Health Organization WHO, a successor to former Health Minister Rida Al-Akula. Al-Aligin noted that the appointment came after negotiations with Al-Aukali past month. Al-Aukali stepped down as the Libya representative in the WHO in December 29 last year for his full-time post as Minister of Health. And about immigration, EU Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini said that European Affairs Ministers will announce next Monday the actual launch of Marine Unit in charge of handling the phenomena of illegal migration in the Mediterranean Sea. In the meantime, European diplomats said the implementation of the second and third stage of the European naval operation will be launched only after the Security Council vote and the approval of the next consist government in Libya. He added that so far 4 ships, several helicopters and several aircraft have been deployed, stressing that the second stage of the process may be launched in September if the new Libyan government is formed. Moreover, the source revealed that there is a shortage of intelligence information exchange between the European countries, especially on the smugglers' positions and their ports in Libya. And about the reactions of Al-Azhar to the kidnapping of Christians, Al-Azhar condemned the kidnapping of 3 people, including an Egyptian in Nofalia, southern city of Sirte by terrorist Daesh group. Al-Azhar called on in a statement the international community to work to free these innocent people from the grip of the terrorist group. Moreover, Al-Azhar stressed its solidarity with families of the 3 hostages, noting that Islam is innocent of these heinous acts and all acts of murder and terrorism. Extremist Daesh group announced yesterday the kidnapping of 3 Christians of Egyptian, Ghanaian and Nigerian nationalities. And now to Yemen, a bombardment in Aden by Houthi militia and forces loyal to former President Ali Abdullah Saleh killed 43 people and injured 173 today. The health ministry of Yemen's government said 2 days after declaring the city had been deliberated. Clashes continued in the city's northern district of Dar Assad and Sabra and in Mascat's in Crater district as local fighters backed by Riyadh-based government and Saudi-led Arab coalition pushed to seize remaining parts of Aden. Those fighters and Yemeni army forces loyal to President Abdurrabbu Mansour Hadi seized Aden's airports and other central areas in the southern advance last week, that broke month of deadlock in the city. Their advance was aided by Gulf efforts to train and equip Yemeni army forces loyal to Hadi and transport them to Aden, Yemen's second largest city and home to the main seaport. Local fighters in Aden have been supported by coalition airstrikes for nearly 4 months, but often fly the flag of a southern Yemen separatist movement rather than voicing loyalty to Hadi's exiled government. The Saudi coalition began its campaign on March 26, bidding to reverse month of advances by the Houthis after they moved from their northern stronghold last year, capturing the capital Sana'a and Bush south of Aden. The Saudi Interim Ministry has said Saudi Arabia has arrested 431 people suspected of belonging to terrorist Daesh group cells and thwarted attacks on mosque security forces and diplomatic missions, said. The announcement came after a car bomb exploded at a checkpoint near the kingdom's high security prison on Thursday, killing the driver and wounded 2 security officials in an attack claimed by terrorist Daesh group. A ministry statement posted on the official news agency said that 6 suicide operations targeting mosques in the eastern province were thwarted, as well as plans to target the diplomatic mission, security and government facilities in Ashraf province. A string of deadly attacks carried out by followers of the extremist militant group based in Iraq and Syria has fueled the concern about growing threat of militancy in the world's top oil exporter. Terrorist Daesh group has called on supporters to carry out attacks in the kingdom and killed 25 people and 2 suicide bombing at Shia Muslim mosques in the country east in May. And still about Daesh, but now in Iraq, a terrorist Daesh group has claimed responsibility for bombing at a central Iraq market on Friday night, which killed more than 100 people, making it one of the deadliest attacks the group has claimed responsibility for. The bombing occurred at a market at the Iraqi city of Khan Bani Saad just as locals were celebrating the end of Ramadan and hoping to find reprieve from the soaring summer heat. The explosion killed at least 120 people and injured around 140. Terrorist Daesh group also claimed responsibility for a deadly car bomb attack that took place last week in another town just 30 kilometers north of Khan Bani Saad. The Diyala provincial government has declared 3 days mourning and has ordered for all parks and interment places to be closed for the remainder of Ramadan in order to avoid further attacks. The same Daesh crisis, but in Algeria, the Algerian Defense Ministry said today that at least 9 Algerian soldiers were killed when terrorist Daesh militants ambushed their patrol west of the capital Algiers last week in one of the deadliest attacks a month. And Al-Qaeda in Islamic Maghreb claimed Friday's attack in Ain Difla region in a statement posted on a social media account that often releases its communiques. A security source had said 11 soldiers were killed. Sunday's statement from ministry was the first official confirmations of the attack. The ministry statement said a detachment of the army was targeted by a terrorist group. We deplore the death of 9 soldiers as martyrs and 2 injured. Since Algeria's conflict with armed militants in the 1990s, in which more than 200,000 people were killed, it has become one of the North Africa's most stable states and is a key ally in the Western campaign against terrorist militancy in the region. Greece prepares to reopen banks for the first time in 3 weeks with its people divided over the terms of an aid package. Neva Work on Sunday proclaims this banner heard by protesters across one Athens streets that could soon change as part of the pilot package required by Greece's creditors. The deal contains a mix of tax hikes, spending, and pension cuts, and an end to the long-held tradition of a work-free today. Retired workers will be among those hit hardest by the changes, since pensions cuts are a key part of the plan. But Greek citizens will see some relief on Monday when Greek banks open for the first time in 3 weeks. Prime Minister Alex Tsipras intends to see the pilot deal with European partners over the next few weeks before likely new elections that could happen as early as September. My audience, that is the wrap-up of our top stories for today. For much more, you can check our website, www.watanilkarama.tv. Thanks for being with us. See you next time. My greeting, رانيا البليدي.